Free Spirit Beaders. This is Kristen Fagan here on the Softflex Company YouTube channel. And I am happy to be back in the new year. How is everybody? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm happy to be back. My first video of the new year on the Softflex Company YouTube channel. Hi, Lydia. Today we are going to be making a simple dangle earring like this one, but we'll be using the new Snow Queen bead mix. So we've got this guy here. We partner with Jesse James Beads, and they create a custom exclusive bead mix for us for our design kits each month. So our last kit was Snow Queen. Hi Suzanne, happy 2020. And this was the extra, the bead mix that we got from them. We do sell these individually after the kit reveal, which was on January 1st. We did the Snow Queen kit reveal on the Softflex Company Facebook page with Sarah. So if you wanted to check that out, you can go to Softflex Company on Facebook and watch the replay. Just go to the video tab and you'll see all of our videos there. So after the design reveal, we do release a few of the kits available. Good morning. Hi, Carrie. And that's what I'm going to be using today. We have them on for sale on softflexcompany.com, but there are just 4 left. They're always a limited supply. We just bring in enough for the kits, and then we have a little bit of extra so that if you missed the kit or if you really enjoyed the kit, you want to get extra beads from the bead mix, it's available to you once the reveal happens. But I looked before the video and we are down to 4. In addition to the bead mix, we always, well, don't always, but we usually, the bead mix is always, the bead strand is an accompaniment that we usually have too. And so this was the Snow Queen bead strand, and this one sold out. We actually introduced this about a month ago ahead of time, and this is sold out as well. But some of you may have these already in your stash that you ordered. We're going to be pairing that mix with some simple jump rings. So we're going to use the jump rings as a design component, and you can use other rings if you have other types of ring designs or ring components. You can use those as well, but we sell these over at softflexcompany.com. You'll find these in our outlet section. Hi, beautiful Anna. Welcome. Happy New Year. You'll find these in our outlet section. And so that's what I'm going to use today. You do want them to be closed, ideally. You want them to be either closed jump rings or a closed ring component of some other kind for this particular design. And then lastly, I am going to use our new Snow Queen trios. So the Snow Queen trios is a group of 3-pack of our white quartz, our blue topaz, and our extreme 24 karat gold plated beading wire. If you're not familiar with Softflex Company, we are a beading wire manufacturer. This is our original brand of beading wire, and it comes in lots of different beautiful colors. We create what we call trios, which are a 3-pack of 10 feet each of beading wire in colors that complement one another, either based on a theme, based on a design kit, based on a holiday. So this one is the one that we have just introduced to go along with our Snow Queen mix and design kit. I think I missed a couple of comments here, so let me take a look. Hi Pam, welcome, good afternoon. Lydia says, love your paintings behind you. Thank you, I changed it up. I've got a few new ones because I had one hanging here that I have now sent off somewhere else. What else? Suzanne says, I have the Snow Queen bead mix coming and also awaiting the mystery bead mix. Oh, great. So Suzanne, did you get the next mystery design kit that just launched? Is that the one you're talking about? Anna G says, yeah, they're awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've got these two back here on my, on this side of my shoulder. Those were each word of the year paintings. So I don't know if you guys choose a word of the year, but I've been doing it for the last few years. And instead of making resolutions, I choose a word that I want to guide me or embody me for the year. And then you can do all sorts of things with it. I think Sarah has shown a jewelry design example. You can do like a collage around it. And since I like to paint, this was my painting for 2019, and my word was transform. My symbol was a dragonfly. And then for the 2018, my word was presence, and the symbol for that one was a tree. So those are my two word of the year paintings. They're a little more personal, I guess, than some of the others because I keep them around to remind me all year of my word. And they're always fun to do. I look forward to doing one for 2020, although I have not decided what my word is yet. And then these are just some of my other fun paintings. So thank you guys. I appreciate the nice comments about it. It's definitely one of my passions, along with beading and creating and doing all sorts of other fun stuff. I love to paint. Suzanne says, that's cool. Yeah, I think I was introduced to it maybe like 5 years ago, and I thought it was a really neat take on making a sort of resolution, was to just decide one word that can bring you through the year that you want to kind of work on. I think I've used the word nourish in the past, and abundance was my first one. That was a really powerful word. So yeah, pretty cool process. All right, so let's make some jewelry. I'm gonna turn you guys down and we'll make some fun, simple dangle earrings. Just organize myself here. I have got my magical crimping pliers that I'll be using with the 2mm by 2mm crimp tubes from Softflex company. And then I've got my flush cutter as well. Let's open up this Snow Queen mix and see what we got in here. Oh, and I ripped my bag, so I lost a few beads. But I think most of them are on the table. So Jessie James always does a wonderful job putting these mixes together for us. We tell them what our theme is, and then they we give them some ideas of colors and what we're thinking, and then they come up with these gorgeous custom mixes. So I'll just dump this out here, and you'll see we've got these beautiful blues, which match really nicely with the color of the year that Pantone announced. Did you guys see that? It is classic blue is the color of the year. I know we have a lot of blue lovers. These are cute little tassels. They look a little dark on the video, but they're actually like a deep navy. And they're like a suede material. So we got 2 of those. We've got 2 of these little chiffon tassels. These are always really cute, these little baubles. And these have little white stars in them with like a rainbow Aurora Borealis effect on there. Couple of other pairs of blue and gold, some fire polish. We've got some fun gold bead caps. These are some interesting, again, this shows kind of dark, but it's really like a deep blue. They might kind of show up as a black, but they're like a deep blue on there. Suzanne says, love this mix and strand, awesome colors. Yeah, I feel like these are colors you just can't go wrong with, right? They are classic colors, lots of whites and clears mixed in with there too, like these snowy, some tubes. Also got these little snowflakes that I used in the example I showed you guys. I actually pulled these beads from the O Tannenbaum mix. So that was the mix before the Snow Queen mix. So if you did pick that up, these clear and red beads as well as this little snowflake is all from the O Tannenbaum. And then we also have these little snowflakes in here again. I must have dropped the other one of this, but this is a sweet little pom-pom. It looks like a snowball. And then just a few other random beads that look like they're either in 2 or 4. Let's see if we can just separate some out so we know what we're working with here. These are pretty. They're like a oval, but one side has like a very flat, shiny side, almost like a mirror effect, and the other side is clear. I like those. Let me see if I've got 4 of them, if I didn't lose one. Oh, I do. Okay, good. I got 4 of those. And you guys know I love using these teeny tiny little seed bead kind of beads. That's kind of what these remind me of. And these are like a matte blue color, like a dark matte blue, a little bit of gray on there too. Those are pretty for spacers. So I need 8 of one kind and 4 of another. So I've got 4 of these here. Is there anything that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Oh, this one probably has 8. I probably dropped one. So maybe we'll use that. Maybe we'll use this pretty blue and those, along with these little snowflakes here for our design today. And I have tons of beads left to play with after this design. And this is sort of an extra special mix, I would say, because there's so many clears and whites and even blue, such classic colors, that I can see it mixing with so many other things. All right, so I'm gonna put those aside and I'm gonna work with these clear beads and these pretty blue, and maybe these little tiny ones as spacers, I'm not sure. And then we could decide which color we want to use here for the wire. I can go with gold to match, which is what I did here. That actually might be what I do. So what's really nice when you use the gold is it's going to match all of your findings and your crimps. Yeah, I think I want to use the gold. I always want to use the gold. The other one, I think this blue is a little bit lighter than these beads are here. So I would probably do would be white would be the other option that I would prefer. Lydia says gold. Let's go with gold. So let's talk a little bit about the 24 karat gold. So Softflex original beading wire, like this one here, is on a stainless steel core, and then it is braided in a micro braid, a proprietary micro braid. It's colored and then nylon coated on top. And then for the extreme, has a little bit different of a foundation. This one's actually a copper core. So it's a copper core, and then it has a proprietary braid, and then it's got the 24 karat gold plating on top of the copper, and then it's nylon coated so that it won't tarnish or flake off or anything like that. They're both our medium diameter, which is our 0.019. And that is our all-purpose size. We use this most of the time. It goes through all sorts of different beads and metals and just an all-around, all-purpose kind of wire. So I'm just gonna cut off about yay much, which looks like probably about 6 inches of wire. And then I've got here some mini bead stoppers that I'm gonna use today. One. Hi Pamela, Happy New Year. Yeah, you'll watch the beginning later. You got here just in time to get going. And then I'm gonna I have picked out some beads from our Snow Queen design mix, and I'm going to use some of these braided jump rings that we have in our outlet shop. They're about 8mm, I would say. You just want to make sure you're using closed jump rings, and because they're in the outlet, it is possible that if you order them, the package may include some open, some closed ones. That's why they're in outlet. These are both for sure closed. But that's just an important thing because you're using them to connect the wire. You want to make sure that there's no openings for these little wire loops to slip out of. Just gonna pick up some 2x2 gold-filled crimp tubes and one of the jump rings. I'm gonna take my wire, put it through the jump ring, and then I'm gonna add a crimp tube to make my first loop. And just pull one of the strands long. And here you just wanna decide how large you want your loop to be when you're connecting it to your jump ring. If you're using a traditional crimping plier, you always want to make sure that you line your wires up nice and parallel coming out of the crimp tube, like that. And that'll ensure that the direction of your wire coming out is smooth and not going in some sort of weird way. With the magical crimping pliers, I don't find the need as dramatic to have to pay attention to it, but it is always nice practice to think about your wires coming out next to each other. So just gonna crimp that crimp tube to the jump ring, or if you're using another connector, you can use another circular connector. And now that's nice and stable, so I can just string right onto this wire here. I'll string on one of these dark blues, maybe one of these little spacer beads, and then a clear, another spacer, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I probably dropped one of those too. In that case, maybe I will, just in case I can't find that one, maybe I'll just do one next to the charm. So I'll do the blue and then the clear, the dark blue spacer, my little snowflake, and then just repeat let me see how this looks. This one's a little bit smaller than the first design I did. Yeah, I think I need to add another blue bead in here instead of the little ones. Give it a little more space. And then maybe I will put that guy there. So now I've got one blue, one clear, one blue, one little dark blue spacer. Sorry, Carrie, I must have missed your question, but I will take a look in a minute. Thanks for answering, Softflex Company. Okay, so there we go. That's going to be my pattern. Blue, clear, blue, and then the little two spacers, and then blue, clear, blue again. And then I'm going to string on my crimp tube, which again is a 2 by 2 millimeter. And then I'm going to string up through this jump ring on the other side and create another loop. So I see you're asking what the difference is between the magical crimping plier and the regular crimping plier. So I'm just gonna scoot this down on the other side here, get it similar in size, my loops similar in size on the two before I go ahead and crimp. And Softflex answered for me, they said, which is right, they take your little crimp tube and turn it into a crimp bead. Okay, and so now once I've got that done, I'm ready to crimp again. So how this works is this tool has one notch on it. It's got like a half circle on each side. You want to place your crimp tube right in the center of that notch. Give it a nice squeeze, and it's going to, let's see if I can get a good angle. There we go. It's going to pinch all four corners. So it'll look like a little pinched ravioli or a puffy square with your four corners pinched in. And then you're going to place it 90 degrees from where you had it first. So if I crimped it this way, now I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and place it back in that notch again. Give it another squeeze, and then I'm going to leave that crimp tube in the notch and just sort of pump and squeeze a few times going around. And what that does is just really helps to shape your crimp tube into that little bead. And you'll see how it's less like a tube and it looks more like a small 2 millimeter bead. And then you can trim off your wire. And there's the bottom of our earring. All we have to do now is attach our ear wire. Carrie says, I love that. Yes, I love it too. It is definitely one of my favorite tools in my toolbox. I use it every time I can. The only times I don't use it is when I need to use a larger crimp tube And so I can't use this one because this only works with the 2x2mm crimp tubes, and it works best with the medium beading wire. So now I'm just gonna take my simple ear wire. We sell these at softflexwire.com. Simple gold ear wire. I can use the tip. This is another fun thing about this tool, is you'll see the top is very flat. So when I'm just needing something quickly, I don't want to have to grab my chain nose pliers, I can use the top of this to twist open that loop on the earring, and then the top of it to grab a hold of it and twist it back closed. Pam says, I don't use regular crimping pliers anymore. Yeah, my regular crimping pliers have been very quiet. I really don't use them much either, unless I'm using, like I said, if I'm using like a fine beading wire, I tend to sometimes grab it, only because I like the connection a little bit better. But I use medium so often. That's my go-to diameter that I rarely use the other ones. So there you have it. There is my simple dangle earring using the jump ring as a little connector. And like I said, you just want to make sure it's closed. Maybe I'll do one more. I have some silver ones here that I picked up in Tucson one year. So this would be an option if you had like a round finding that you weren't sure what to do with. You can use this as your base and then create the same technique. So let's see. It sounds like my dogs are starting to wrestle. I think maybe they just woke up. Let's see what else we have to make a silver version. I know I've got these white ones here, which would be really pretty. We've got these guys. I'd have to see if I have enough to make 2 earrings. I really like the shape of these. That could be a nice focal one. Or even making the little tassel the focal. That could be cute. We all love a good tassel, don't we? I hope everyone had a nice holiday break. I missed you guys. Sadly, I injured myself and it wasn't quite as relaxing, or I shouldn't say relaxing because it was kind of relaxing. I couldn't do a whole lot, but it wasn't as productive as I had wanted it to be. But sometimes we can't help that, right? Lydia says, sorry to hear that. Yeah, I was doing some yard work and I pulled like a muscle in my neck and my arm on my right side. And so it made a lot of normal activities very difficult for a while. And I definitely felt compassion for those of us that walk around with chronic pain syndromes, you know, because it's really hard. My husband being one of them, and I sometimes forget that he does have some chronic pain issues, and it's a hard way to go through life sometimes, you know. That was a nice reminder, I guess, of compassion for others in that way. Let's see what we got here. But I'm still feeling better. I'm not 100%. I'm still loading up on Ben Gay like I did before my video. But at least I feel like I can function. I'm thinking about using, well, if I use these, the blue could be cute. Suzanne says pretty. Using the magical crimping pliers definitely takes practice. I haven't really mastered it yet. It does take practice. It gets better with time, and it definitely does take practice. I think I'm torn. Do I use the blue wire with these beads and the blue tassel? Or do I use the white wire with this tassel and maybe these beads? That's pretty. That's very elegant looking. But I do have a silver, I do have a little silver jump ring. Can you twist the blue and white and use both? I can, but I won't be able to use, well, maybe I won't be able to use my magical crimping pliers if I twist them. I'll have to go up to a bigger crimp. I do like how on this one, you don't see the gold on the tassel quite as much, so it might, whereas this one, it's a little more apparent. Or I could do something like that. No, I think the tassel's cute. I thought of both too, Suzanne said. Let me see what my large crimp stash looks like. I do have enough, probably silver ones. Pam says, I've had them since they were first out. I have the dark blue handles. I had a hard time with them at first and broke quite a few crimps in the beginning. Yeah, I don't know that I've even seen the dark blue handles. All right, so I'm gonna cut 6 inches, maybe a little bit more since we're gonna twist them. Maybe I'll go to like there. That's probably about 10 inches of the white and the blue wire. And let's see how this goes with twisting them. Move some of this out of my way. So I'll start it the same way. I'm gonna slide on the crimp tube, and then I'm gonna slide on the jump ring connector, and I'm gonna go back through. And so now I went up to a 3x3 millimeter crimp tube, and that's because I've got 4 wires coming back through the crimp. And when you've got 4 wires, really 3 is the most you can get in a 2x2 crimp. So once you get to 4 wires, you got to go up to a 3x3, and then you got to use what is called the Mighty Crimper. And this looks like a traditional crimping plier, but it just has larger spaces here, so it fits for the larger crimp tube. So I'm gonna line up my wires so they're coming out parallel. Place this crimp in the back notch first. Whoop, I'm off camera, sorry about that. Place the crimp in my back knot first, and what that will do is create a divot, just like that. And then we're gonna turn it 90 degrees on its side so that I have the divot facing out. See the divot's going that direction. And then we're gonna give it a nice squeeze. Anna says, hello from Iowa. Hi, Anna, welcome. We are experimenting right now. I did a simple dangle earring first. Where did I put that? Here. We showed this design, and now we're experimenting with recreating it on a little bit larger of a jump ring with 2 beading wires instead of 1. And we're gonna just try and do a little twisting. So I'm just gonna twist these wires together like that. Denise says holla or hola. Hi Denise, welcome. You know what? I think I'm gonna bring out my macrame board for this, and then I can slide this jump ring into the macrame board and use that to get a better grip on twisting some wire. So I'll twist there, and then let's see. I think this will go through both. Looks like the hole is big enough, but it goes through both and it goes all the way up my twisted wire, so we don't want that. We may have to do a smaller one first. Let's see how this one works. This one may only go through 1 wire. So my goal is to find a hole that will allow 2 wires, but snugly. Which might be this one here. And that way, let's see if I can get it all the way up. Another use for your, no, it's gonna be too snug. Carrie says, yes, you can totally use 3 wires and braid them. Sarah has done that quite a few times. So instead of 2 wires, you can use all 3. Well, my twisting may be difficult to add beads on unless I just twist it all the way and let the beads fall on top. Let's try that. So I'm twisting all the way down. And then I could just let that hang on the twisted wire. So there's one. Do you see what I ended up doing there? I just twisted the wire all the way, and now I'm gonna bring it back through my jump ring. And we can decide how long we want it to be. Lydia says, that looks good. Yeah, That's something different. I don't twist wire that often. I have braided, but I actually have never really played with the twisted idea. So thank you guys for helping me try something new. Now we can play with how long or short we want it to be. So if that's the bottom, this is the part that's going to hang on the ear wire. I kind of like large earrings, so I'm okay with something like that. I am seeing that it's bumping up a little bit though, so the weight may not be enough right now. I might want to put a couple of more of these. Or maybe I'll try this one to give it a little extra weight. This way it pulls down from your jump ring. So I'm gonna take this one down off here. And because it's only twisted, it does easily untwist. So now that I removed those beads, I'm just gonna give it another twist again. And I'm just using the macrame board to keep it in place so I can retwist. And I'm gonna add another bead on each side, and hopefully that gives it a good amount of weight. To pull down a little bit more. Let's see if this bead can go through both. Yes, it can. Okay. Pop that back off. Let's add a crimp tube here and see if this gives it a little bit more weight. Just gonna feed that back down my crimp. They are a little more snug, which is good. That clear bead on the end was a little more snug. So let's move them into the center. Do you guys talk to yourselves when you design? I know I do. And that's why I do it kind of naturally on the video. All right, I think that'll work. I think that's gonna be heavy enough. That it will stay. So now I'll just double check before I crimp. I always like to check my loops on each side and make sure that they are similar. Lydia says, I talk to myself no matter what I do. You get the best answers from yourself, don't you? So another thing to note when you're using the regular crimping pliers, you do have a little, can you see that? So you have like a little seam on the back. So when you're going to crimp, you want to make sure that you are going to crimp the seam in the back as well. If I was to hold my tool this way, this seam will end up in the front of the crimp tube. So I'm going to switch my tool and hold it the other way so that where the divot is, where that little point is on that tool, ends up in the back in the same place as my first one. So you don't have one seam in the front and one seam in the back. And then we can trim off this excess wire, just like that. And that came out really cute. This will show you a difference. Obviously, we're looking at two different sizes of crimps, but you'll see with the magical crimping tool, you get more of a bead. And then with the regular crimping pliers, you are going to have more of a flat tube. You can always decide to put a crimp cover on this if you wanted to cover that up. I don't particularly love crimp covers, which is why I love my magical crimping pliers so much, but they are nice in this kind of situation when you have a larger crimp. So if you're using a 3x3 millimeter crimp tube, you're going to want a 4 millimeter crimp cover to go on top of that to cover that up. Hey, that turned out really cute, you guys. Thank you. So same technique, two totally different designs and different looks, just based on changing a few things, like the twisting of the wire and a different kind of jump ring and the crimps. And that's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial today. I'm going to flip you up here. Pamela says cute designs. Pam Jones says pretty. Gloria, Happy New Year, everyone. This is a cute pair. Carrie says very pretty. Thank you. Yeah, I think it was really a nice, this is definitely something I probably wouldn't have done on my own. So I really like that we got to experiment and try the twisting wire together. There we go. We could see it better there. And like I said, we've just got 4 of those bead mixes left. If you already have a bead mix, awesome. You can make these earrings lickety split. But if you don't already have one, go over and check out softflexcompany.com to grab it before they are gone. We've got the bead mix there. We've got the trios that we just introduced last week, which is this one here. And we actually did sell out. We launched the Dark Heart design kit on the 1st, and we have already sold out of it. It went super fast. You're welcome, Suzanne. So I was going to tell you guys about that one, but it is already gone. The video and launch date, let me look at the calendar here and see when the next kit goes out. It should be the 29th of January. So that will be when we release our next kit. So if you missed out on grabbing the Dark Heart or the Snow Queen, mark January 29th on your calendar. That will be when the next kit should launch. And I will talk about that in the future videos as it gets closer. So a couple things we have going on this week. We have, today is the last day of our special $10 just for you sale. So spend $49 or more. You'll automatically get 10 retail orders. It is good until tomorrow night at midnight, January 7th. Today is January 6th of 2020. And if you spend $50 or more, you'll have the option of free shipping in the US as well. So sweet deal going on right now. It's kind of a choose your own sale kind of deal because you just put whatever you want or need in your cart. You get up to the $49 and then you will see your $10 discount. No coupon needed, and that's good until tomorrow night, midnight Pacific time. We have a video coming up on Wednesday on Facebook with Sarah Ayler on making jewelry. That is at 1 p.m. Pacific time on the Softflex Company Facebook page. And then we also have a new video from James this week on Thursday that will be premiering at 2 p.m. I believe Pacific time here on the Softflex YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and then you'll be updated whenever we upload a new video or we schedule some new lives. And I look forward to seeing you guys here again next Monday. Happy New Year, and I hope everyone is feeling well and rested and ready to take on a fresh new year. I'm always excited when things are starting. I love the beginning of things. So I look forward to this wonderful year and beading with you guys some more. All right, have a great one. I will talk to you all next week. Bye.